August 2026 is a deeply powerful month. We have a lot going on, and here it is. We have the eclipses happening in Leo and Pisces, with these eclipses being at many, many different degrees of their signs, with these eclipses and being in two signs which are very, very different than one another. Leo is the energy of creative self-expression and play and joy and fun, and Pisces is surrender, trust, intuition, trusting the divine. So these eclipses couldn't be more different, but they can combine together really, really easily. Not only are these eclipses going on, but at the very end of the month, we have Jupiter trine Saturn, which we can be having judgment, and we can really, really get disciplined about our own creative heart expression. We have all the personal planets changing signs, Mars into Cancer on the 12th, Mercury into Leo on the 10th, Venus into Libra on the 7th, and on the 26th of August, Mercury moves into Virgo. The Sun transitions into Virgo. Also, the Sun's in Leo for the first, 10 days, first 22 days of the month. We also have the Sun conjunct Mercury, Chiron going retrograde. So that's essentially what's going on in the month of August. And I discussed that in depth in the last episode, which you can go check out, which is the rundown and the breakdown of what all this astrology means, what all this astrology is all about when it comes to the August eclipse portal. Because this is a portal, and not to mention Lionsgate on the 8th, which I want to do a video about the Lionsgate portal. Because I'm telling you, that's huge for heart energy, authenticity energy. So many things going on with that, I'm telling you. That's a big day. That's a big deal. So, I've done my meditation. I've done my cleansing of my nervous system. I'm calmer. Before I did this episode, before meditating, I was restless, and I was feeling like the need to get it done, quickly. I want to get, you know what? Take a breath with me right here and now. This will take all the time it needs to take. I'm going to go through this information little by little. I'm not going to succumb to the overwhelm of all the information that I have to get through in this episode. I'm just going to take my time and enjoy the process and make the most of it. So, that is that. And so, now, that is what is going on, there with that. Okay. So, follow along for your sun, moon, and rising sign. You can watch your sun sign most predominantly, but then also know your ascendant sign, because that's most accurate. And the sun sign is more about the themes that may be undergoing during this time. By the way, I'm not using any house system doing this. I am purely, not using Placidus, not using whole sign. I'm just using, insight about the signs, talking about how they need to grow, what they need to learn, how do they need to evolve, or how they might, or how they could evolve. Not that it's required a marching order, that you must watch this and then just, respond, immediately and embody everything that I'm saying. No. Okay, no. This is just all for your consideration, all for your contemplation, all for your self-awareness and self-reflection. And I think that astrology and self-awareness are huge together. I want to use astrology as a tool for authenticity, self-love, self-awareness, all those self-words, Yeah, and I think that self-awareness just doesn't mean, just about others. Self-awareness can actually be you tapping. I should do a video on self-awareness, tapping into your soul, tapping into your own truth. And, getting into, what was I going to say here? Self-awareness can be, where you are getting into your own soul and seeing what is the most authentic in that soul expression of you. Most authentic expression of who you are, of who you came here to be. And the key word is self, not other awareness, self-awareness. So you have to separate those two things out. So you can understand yourself a lot better and have a lot of grace and compassion with yourself when you understand your astrology. You see yourself with the eyes of compassion. The very first astrologer that I followed was Deborah Silverman, and she talked all about that. She has a $1,000 school where she, leads people to fall in love with themselves. But you don't need to spend $1,000 just to fall in love with yourself and accept yourself and do all that. Well, you don't need to do that, okay? You don't. All my content is free. The only thing I would charge for in my life, maybe courses when I get to be really old, but consultations, readings, okay, I'll charge for that. Because it's what I want to monetize for, and all those kind of things like that. So I'll worry about that, I'll cross that bridge when, I get there. But so anyway, delving into August 2026 astrology for all 12 zodiac signs. So, alrighty. So now Aries. Let's first start talking about Aries. So for Aries and Aries rising, this is your horoscope. Now you are not meant to just go your own way and do your own thing and be all in control of your life, completely in control of your life all the time, Aries. Aries is a cardinal sign. It wants to be independent, wants to be fiercely pioneering and strong and tough and powerful and mighty and individualistic. But this thinking that you are large and in charge around the time of, really both the eclipses, because eclipses say, guess what? You're not. I don't think so. This is I don't think so. Because the eclipses are fated points. They have to do with the nodes of fate and destiny. So, knowing that they are both fate and destiny, because, the North Node really is your destiny, where you're meant to go in this life. Life is unfolding for you and what your soul is really calling for you to move toward. So, don't think, Aries, that you are just large and in charge. You're just so powerful. You just have it all figured out. You just are meant to just be almighty and powerful. As I've said before, repeating myself, can you trust the divine? Can you surrender your power and your control of needing to control your life over to spirit? Can you let go of your burdens, let go of your responsibilities, and co-create your life? Co-create your life. Think about that, Aries. Co-creating instead of just relying on the universe to just have the final say. You're co-creating. You are the creator, yet you're relying on the universe. Yet you are, not relying. You're working with the universe in a reciprocal relationship, because this universe is reciprocal. Okay, where you're in a partnership with the divine, and it's about coming back into remembrance of that, where you can trust the divine, trust in spirit, trust in your higher power, that it will lead you to the right things at the right time, the right decisions, the right choices, the right marks in the road. That is super important. You can also let go and allow the divine to work through you. Surrender what you need and what you want to spirit. Ask yourself, does this really feel right? Does this really feel like the path to go down? And only you will know that if you tap into your intuition, Aries. That's the key. You want to tap into your spirit and your soul, that internal part of you that just knows just by a vibe, just by a feeling, this feels good, this feels like it vibes with my energy. This feels, this feels right. Sorry, I'm drinking tea as I'm doing this. So, alright. So, Aries, Aries, this is really about, it really comes down to, it is about, surrender, release. That's ultimately what it's about. And so, can you surrender your needs and your wants and your desires to spirit, to the divine, and give it up? Not needing to always control the narrative all the time. That's your invitation. And finally, the divine and God, source energy, is encouraging you and empowering you to be kind to yourself, to be loving to yourself. How are you speaking to yourself, Aries? Are you allowing the external criticism from the outside to get the better of who you are on the individual inside level? Speak kindly to yourself. Be confident in yourself. Say, I can do this. I believe in myself. I feel worthy. I am worthy. I am perfectly worthy to be who I am. And Aries wants to be who they are, as the most individualistic, authentic level. So, looking at that, not falling into criticism, but looking at that's your invitation. Now, Taurus, this is about moving through scarcity wounds, thinking that you don't have enough, feeling that you are not enough, feeling not enough, not worthy in your own skin, feeling like you don't have enough possessions to be happy. That's the very, very first invitation, and this might be something you're working through and you're grappling with this month. If there are any subject areas that come up with scarcity and limitation and feeling held back in the areas of your life that you may feel scarce around, that you may lack resources around, you may not have what you need, you may not have what you desire, and fully, feeling fully, empowered in this area of your life. That you feel like you have a lot. Okay. So as I was talking about with you about, about scarcity, feeling like you do not have enough, that you just aren't enough. And I think that this is so profound for Tauruses at this time, is to sit with this feeling of, I don't have enough money, I don't have enough material possessions, I don't have enough resources to keep me in a good, abundant standing. I don't have enough of this. They can really, really help themselves to feel secure about all that they have, all that is in their possession, all that is in their life. You can also give practical advice with confidence. Can you give this with confidence? Can you be very, very proud of yourself? Can you be very, very strong about yourself? That you can speak with confidence, sharing what you know to be true, sharing what you're good at with others, with the world. And can you get out of your comfort zone? This is encouraging you to get out of your comfort zone. And if your comfort zone is scarcity, is feeling in the state of scarcity, feeling not grateful, feeling not secure and content with your life, can you be willing to break out of this and change this and create a new reality for yourself? That's what I ultimately want for you, Taurus, is a new reality where you feel uplifted, you feel abundant, You feel perfectly worthy to be who you are. Perfectly worthy to have what you have. That you know that you will always have enough. That there is never a scarcity of anything. There's always enough. I'm safe. I'm taken care of. And sometimes to get that, you have to get out of your comfort zone. Where you stuck, where you in the familiar ways of being, the familiar habit patterns. And time to break out, time to free yourself. And getting out of your comfort zone is part of how you can do that. Now, Gemini, manifest what you want on a mental level. What do you want to write? What do you want to create? What do you want to invest in? What do you want to speak about? What do you want to, journal about? What do you want to talk about with others? What's on your mind that you want to express? This is a great month to express that. Now, you may want to focus on the practical and not always the logical elements of your life. You may want to focus on not only just, practical. I don't know why I put these two words together, because practical and logical are together. I mean, they are words that, they are words that deeply combine with one another and deeply, enmesh themselves with, with one another. So, now, okay, so, with Gemini, what do you, now it's time to be mental, now it's time to be mindful, now it's time to be really, really in your own, mind and intellect. Can you focus on independent learning? And not always requiring others to learn along with you, not always needing to have others to help you along in your process of education, in your process of reading and writing and doing all this, that you can be sovereign, that you can be confident and willing to independently learn what you need to learn in order to gain a lot of traction in this life. And can you not be so up in the head with all these spontaneous ideas that have no grounding in reality, but be practical? What does it actually mean? How can I actually ground this idea into my own reality, into my own life? How can I make this a tangible reality for myself? Not just theory and ideas, but really, really embodied. How can I embody what comes to my mind and do it on my own? Now, Cancer, clean up your house. Clean up your home, organize things. It's a great time to, tidy up. Maybe creating more beauty inside your home. I'm going to talk about Libra about that. But creating beauty inside your home. Creating beauty inside your surroundings. Decorating your house. Putting paintings on the walls. Rearranging the furniture, cooking something really, really nice, making the house smell really, really good. That's your invitation. Take action on what you want in your home environment. Take action. What kind of project do you want in your home environment? What kind of project do you want to start doing in your home? That can be like a renovation, like a goal. I would clean up the house, make it better, make it more comfortable for myself. That can really, really be an invitation for this time. And then what feels emotionally safe and right for you on an internal level, on an instinctual level, what truly feels good for you, good to you, not needing to be defined by family, to have to conform, to have to do certain things, to have to, uphold to all these rules and limitations and regulations, but to be able to do what you feel is right. What you know is right in your gut, in your instincts. I think that we can often get swayed by our families to do what they want to do, follow tradition and go after the jobs that we want and do get the career that we want, do the tasks around the house that, need to be done. And now it can be where we are saying, no, this is not authentic to me. This isn't true to me. And stepping away from this and being clear, very, very clear on who we are and what we want. What do we want for our lives? What do we want for ourselves, for our individual contribution to society? But not based on what society wants for us, but how do we want to contribute to society in a way that's right for us? Because we're ultimately, we are living in the Aquarian age, and it's about being an individual, and you are contributing to the larger whole. So, how do you want to contribute? Not based off of what others are telling you or what you feel obligated to do, but what is your soul saying? Being yourself can really, really help you. Being yourself, being who you are, serves others. It just does. Shining your light just serves everybody. Because you're being confident, you're being empowered, and you are living out that truth. Living it out, making it happen. So, not needing to be defined by all these expectations, all these rules, all these standards. Saying, no, I'm not going to do what you want because it doesn't feel right. I'm going to do what I'm going to do what feels right for me to do in my own life. Now, Leo, stop looking for the validation outside of yourself. Leo can often look to everybody else to make them feel good. Leo wants to perform how do I look? How do I look? Am I doing a good job? Why aren't you paying enough attention to me? Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. Leo can, steal away the spotlight because of an insecurity about the self, needing other people to help itself, to feel good about itself. And that's how I want to phrase it. I'm not going to call it being selfish. I'm going to call it being dependent upon everybody else to make you feel good about yourself. And that is not healthy. That's ego. That's very, very much ego. And I'm telling you this from an honest place. I really, really feel that this needs to be looked at with awareness. And if we, and I am a person that's very, very grounded in reality with all the stuff that I'm talking about. I'm not living on a fantasy land. I'm not woo-woo. I'm living in 2026. And in the zeitgeist of 2026, summer of 2026, with the South in Leo, North in Aquarius, Jupiter in Leo, we are all being invited to know that we are already winner. That we already are worthy of feeling good about ourselves, of feeling uplifted, of feeling happy, of feeling full of joy about ourselves. That we are already winners in our own right. That we don't need others to make us feel good, that we don't need other approval. That we can just be who we are regardless of whatever they say, whatever they think. Not caring what they think. Not caring what they think of us. Now, organization and cleaning up. Because the lions performed in the circus, but somebody has to go into the circus and clean it up, because the sun's going to enter Virgo, Mercury's going to enter Virgo in August, but toward the end of the month. And so you're being invited to work on your self-expression and get serious about it, because Virgo energy, Virgo is an earth sign, it gets serious about whatever it is doing. It has a structure to it, it wants to have a format to it, and Jupiter and Saturn are trining each other in fire signs. Jupiter is in Leo, Saturn is in Aries. So what is your heart vision? What is your soul vision? What do you want to see manifest in your life with what fills you up, what lights you up, what you're passionate about. And now Saturn says, be disciplined about it, stick to it, manifest it. So this is one of your other invitations. And then achieving your heart's desire in tangible form means being practical about it. The 3D requires practicality. So how are you going to actually work with the universe to manifest your heart's desire in physical, tangible form using the resources of this 3D reality to make it happen for yourself? How are you going to go about doing that? That's what I ultimately want to invite you towards doing, and and living out in your own right, and and in your own life. So then, Virgo, you can logically move your way into situations. You can logically become very, very involved in situations. You can make decisions that serve you and serve other people. You can make those decisions. You can make those choices. You can do what feels right for you and them. Where you can really, really, where you can make logical decisions, make practical decisions. I'm basing this decision off practical evidence, like there's practical evidence to support this decision. So the Virgo energy invites you to be logical and practical. Now, what visions have you sacrificed? What creative visions, what personal self-expression of how you want to authentically express yourself that you put aside for the sake of work? Virgo can just slave away. I have to work so hard. I have to, be a martyr. I have to take care of everybody's, needs, and I have to be the one who serves everybody, the one who takes care of all the details. Nobody else is going to do it but me. They feel like they are always the ones responsible. That's kind of the wound and the burden that earth signs carry, is feeling like they are the ones responsible. The planners, the ones who make the lists and do things and check things off their list, like that's Virgo. They have a list and they want to check, do like that. Virgo is the organization principle. So now you're being invited to look at your personal self-expression. What is in your heart that you want to express? What is in your soul? Could be on social media. Could be an emotion that you're feeling to somebody else. It could be just you writing in your journal. Could be you just recording a Zoom meeting and not posting it. Whatever it is, whatever avenue it is, I want to make this as grounded as I can for you, because I say all these general terms and I throw these general terms around and I say them over and over again. But how are you going to make it practical? Well, I'm trying my best here, okay? So, personal self-expression for the sake of work. That is a really, really negative thing going on. So we really, really need to be mindful of not sacrificing who we are just for the sake of just getting stuff done. So treat yourself nicely and kindly. So often Virgo criticizes itself. Virgo judges itself. And it's about giving yourself nice compliments. Saying nice things to yourself like, oh, I did this thing that was very, very good. I achieved this in this way that was very, very good. I am worthy. I am good enough. Virgo feels like they're not good enough a lot of the time. So I know people have probably told you this, and I'm one of those people. But self-love is so important, Virgo. And it is. If it's a cliche, then it's a cliche for a reason. Okay. This is an area of work. working on being more self-accepting and loving. Not easy for Virgo because they're always feeling the need to fix and improve, right? But can you be kind to yourself and not judge yourself for being a certain way, for doing certain things? That you are fully allowed to be yourself. And be your own best friend. Be your own best friend. Speak very, very lovingly, very, very kindly to yourself. And speak with care and compassion for yourself. That's huge. Now, Libra. Decorate your home, Libra. Make it more beautiful. Make the home, your surroundings more harmonious. Maybe with some paintings, or maybe with some, some decoration on the wall, or whatever. That's your first invitation. And what are you ending in your relationships? What is coming to a karmic end? Because that Pisces lunar eclipse on the 27th is asking you to end something. We're in Libra, it's relationship, because Libra is the sign of relationships. We are looking at the signs after all, and not the houses in these readings. What has to, and I think, I think also I've done a ton of these in July, and I took days off, and I just feel more fresh and vitalized to do these again in August. So I was kind of getting a little bit sick of them in July because I did so many, but now I'm all, revved up and excited. So what are you, ending? And what has to come to an end in your relationships? I mean, what has to die away? What old patterns, what negative relationship patterns, whatever they are, need to die away? What no longer holds weight for you? What is falling away from your life? What, on a soul level, you're like, I'm done with this. I'm done. I've had enough of this. I'm not going to continue to move on this path and do all these things. Seeing somebody walk outside my window right now. I hope they're not a construction worker. Anyway, I'm sure they're not. Let me just see if this person passes. Yeah, they're just... Let's see here. Yeah, they're just walking in the street. Okay. Sorry about that. Sorry. Nobody. I'm just seeing somebody out my window right now. And I like sitting at my desk again. Doing these. So, anyway. Like your soul is done with these relationships or these ways of being in relationships. Now, I don't want to throw out all these radical things and you're like, how am I supposed to do that? I'm not in the right situation. I don't have the liberty to do that. Well, what can you change within that structure? What do you have the liberty to do? What do you feel comfortable doing? And so maybe something that's ending is you always relying on the other partner to make decisions for you, on letting them decide what they want for you, like living a life according to them. Like really, that's what I'm talking about. Not letting others pressuring you to be practical, realistic, conforming to them, conforming to them, not letting them get the better of you, not letting their practical, be practical. Don't rely on your feelings. Don't trust your intuition. Don't do this. Don't do that. Well, that can hold you back from your soul, hold you back from following your intuition, hold you back from following your soul's desire. So now you're asked to be yourself. Don't give in to the demands and pressure that your partner, as hard as it is, and it does take some courage and willingness and humility to do this. I'm telling you, that's what it takes. And if you're willing to do this, you will find a lot more happiness in your life. So then Scorpio. Now, Scorpio, forming a power bond, forming a power couple that is more powerful than what you and the other could have created on your own. Because Scorpio is about merging power. It is about the energy exchange from two people to another, just like, flower to flower, that kind of thing. And Scorpio wants to merge forces, wants to join forces with another, wants to merge energies, wants to transform and grow and evolve one another. So you can do that. You can work with another in terms of that power bond. Now, where are you not allowed to go deep with the person that you are in relationship with? Because let me tell you, that Venus retrograde begins at the end of the month. The very, very last day of the month begins. The retrograde season begins. This is significant because Venus will be retrograde in your sign. In late October, I do believe, and like from the early part of most of October, I think Venus will be retrograde in your sign. That's coming up later, but I just want to give you a little bit of trail. I will be doing videos on Venus retrograde and Scorpio and Libra. Who and what you really love. I'll be doing those videos toward the end of September. Is when I plan to record those episodes for you. But anyway, intimacy. Into me, I see. Seeing somebody at the deepest soulmost level. Deepest soul level. Where you're not allowed to have a soul connection with another. Soul-to-soul connection where you're really, really enjoying being with another person and really, really bonding with them on a level of spirit, on a level of soul. Spirituality. Where are you not allowed to fully be who you are with the person and be vulnerable to them? Where you're not allowed to be vulnerable. That's what could be looked at for yourself in your life at this time. And what wounds or shadows need to be healed so that they can be transformed. Because Scorpio is about that transformation, that Phoenix rising from the ashes, all those kind of things like that. So what are those wounds that you need to look at, evolve, heal, and grow from? And it's a messy process to go through transformation. It's not easy. And I want to have compassion for you. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of willingness to go through the process of transformation. It takes spiritual maturity to do this. And it takes self-acceptance to do this, I'm telling you. And a lot of self-love, a lot of self-compassion, a lot of patience and grace with yourself to move through this process of deep integration, deep, shadow work. And shadow work is messy. It's really not a fun process. When you're in it, it feels so incredibly difficult. I didn't even experience that to be able to tell you that. You feel really, really like a lack of identity, like you're in between worlds, like an old version of you is dying and a new version of you is being reborn. Like it can feel really tough when you're in it. Really like, oh my goodness, so much, change and turmoil is happening in my life and I just feel like I can't, move on. I can't, see a way out of this. I can't, I can't, feel good about, not feel good about yourself, but possibly. But it's not an easy process. And allowing it to be what it is, allowing it to be the messy, imperfect process that it is very important. Now, so that's Scorpio. Now, Sagittarius, let's spend enough time on Scorpio now. So this is about becoming more optimistic and willing to go into the unknown, to adventure in your life. Sagittarius is the adventurer. Sagittarius is the explorer. So pursue your desires with greatness. Sagittarius wants it all. Wants bigger, better, bolder. And it wants to, now I'm thinking of Thomas and Friends, the King of the Railway movie. When I say that. So, pursue your desires with greatness. That's what I'm telling you. Because when you can put yourself first, do what is in your heart, do what is in your soul to do. You can really, really find a lot of value in that. And being willing to get out of your comfort zone, being willing to step into those new territories. And on the flip side, and going along with that same point is, what do you feel called to create and build from your heart? Because Leo energy is about the heart. That you feel so inspired about, that you feel so passionate about, that you feel so uplifted about. So, so that lights you up. That brings you joy. Building from your heart, just that you feel optimistic about. What do you feel optimistic about? Because Sagittarius is the energy of feeling so incredibly good, so lucky, so optimistic. Like, wow, I just had this creative idea, and I want to act on it so bad. It's not even fun. I'm doing it. I'm going right in and I'm doing it. Like, that's what Sagittarius energy is. It's enthusiastic energy. It's motivated energy. It's positive fire energy. And can you do this realistically? This is the next step. Because Capricorn says, okay, if you're going to manifest this, then you have to be practical about it. You have to be pragmatic about it. So using the Saturn trine Jupiter, Jupiter trine Saturn, using the Saturn realism, practicality, to make this real, to make this tangible, to make this grounded. Now, while this all can be good, you also have another little trait to watch out for, and that is the big, adventurous, extravagant adventures, okay? Needing to just go big and bold and go out there to just feel good, to enjoy your life, to have a spectacular life. And this is about focusing on the small things, focusing on the little things, focusing on what you can do to really, really enjoy your time right here and right now. Not needing this big extravagant thing to bring yourself joy. It can be just, I wake up in the morning, I see the trees outside my window, I feel safe, I feel secure, I'm eating breakfast, I'm drinking my orange juice or coffee in the morning, I'm hearing the birds song, seeing the sun shine through my window, family, being grateful for what you already have in your life. Gratitude is really, really important, and it's a huge way that you can feel content about what gratitude is like feeling good about what you have right now. And I think that there is some truth to the law of attraction, like feeling grateful expands your blessings. Like when you feel grateful for what you already have, you just notice more blessings, more good things. So expect good things, notice good things, more good things will come in your life. Because you will see those things. You will recognize those things. And that's your key, because Sagittarius is gratitude. The sun is in Sagittarius, over Thanksgiving after all, so in America. So Capricorn. Now, Capricorn, what are the foundations that you need to build under your feet to help you feel more grounded and secure? Because Capricorn is about those foundations. It's about creating stable foundations for your groundedness and for your security, for your stability. And this is huge for you, because groundedness and security are two really, really big themes for Capricorn. They want to feel down to earth. They want to feel content. And so this month helps them to do that. The Virgo energy is about organization and structure and order. So Virgo is trying to your energy. Virgo is trying to Capricorn. Use the Jupiter trine Saturn to ground your visions and reality at the end of the month. So, helping yourself feel this deeply. Now, I'm just going to say this about you. I think that Capricorn works really, really hard, and at best, it falls into that silent generation habit of just conforming, working hard just to survive, being strong, being resilient, being tough. Like, wow. If I knew somebody whose sun was at like 7 degrees of my sun, I don't know if I would judge them for being too needy or too emotionally dependent or too reactive or whatever. Maybe I would look at that and, be like, no, you don't have to be tied down to your emotions. You don't have to be trapped in your emotions. I would be compassionate. I would be trying to not be as judgmental as I would. But I maybe at a deep level have felt like, and I'm aware of this, not feeling allowed to fully feel my own emotions. And so I may project that in a relationship with somebody's sun who's conjunct my Saturn. I don't know, born like June 27th or something about like that. I may project that image of just, maturity, grow up, be independent, be strong, don't, because of the feeling, it's be like, well, how come you can feel so much? And it's so easy for you to feel, and I feel blocked in this. That's not fair. And then jealousy starts to ensue, and, that's the Saturn person to the Sun person. The Sun person is just freely self-expressing. The Saturn person, there's some karma and security there. And so you have to understand how both people feel in the relationship. One feels restricted, one feels, well, the other person, both people feel restricted. The Saturn person feels, I have a video about this, about the Sun-Saturn relationship in synastry. The Saturn person feels like they can't measure up to the Sun person. Like, how is it fair that you're just feeling so easily and I can't? That I have this ability. And it would be so easy for me to say, well, you've got to control yourself. Or just something like that, that kind of thing. So I'm just kind of saying that because, creativity, passion, vulnerability, self-expression. And you know what? I believe in all this stuff. I believe in all the Cancer lessons and the Leo lessons. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely. There is absolute validity to Cancerian and Leo energy, and I honor both of those two signs equally, along with the rest of the Zodiac. But going back to what I was saying, I don't know how it got off on that tangent, but being safe, or excuse me, having creative passions, and being willing to self-express. Not feeling like you have to hold back just because I have to work so hard, and I have to slave away so hard, and I have to, do all this stuff so hard. I have to really, really slave away and work and, labor and, do all this stuff. I don't have to do all this. And I can just be in my heart energy, be in my authentic energy, and express myself the way I want to. And finally, your heart's joy, Capricorn, that you've repressed, that you put down just for the sake of work and productivity. Now, it's time to bring that out. So, now you can use the Saturn energy, the Saturn trine Jupiter, using the Saturn Aries to be disciplined on what you want authentically. What do you want in your heart and soul? Jupiter and Leo. Being disciplined and pursuing that. Because fire is about me, I energy. And that doesn't have to be a bad, selfish thing. Okay? But it can be very, very healing for you to understand that you are worthy to shine. And not to work, not to do the work that others have, condition you into. Like, you have to work on it. You have to work at this. You have to do this job. You have to pursue this career. But be an adult, grow up. Your desires and your feelings and your thing is just immature. Okay, that is immature right there. Okay, not fulfilling your soul's desires, not fulfilling what your heart wants, what you truly want, and just sacrificing for the sake of work. I will argue that that is a lack of spiritual maturity. Okay? I would say that actually the opposite. What you think, in the older generations, would be mature, I would say that those generations, in my opinion, are not as mature spiritually as the newer generations coming in, incoming. Millennials, Gen Zs, and maybe, Gen X a little bit. But, to be fully mature is to love yourself and to do what your soul is calling you to do, and it does mean to be disciplined and hardworking about that. But what are you working for? What are you working on? Is it what others want, or is it what you want? So devote your practical energy into what you want, into your own heart's passion, into your own joy. And if that's serving others, then great. But as long as you feel it in your heart, as long as I can connect to my heart and soul and say, this is what I want. This feels true for me. This is what I want to connect to. This is what I want to shine out into the world. And this is what I want to show the world, me expressing my own creative light. And this is what I believe in. So I'm going to do it. I don't care what people think about it. If society disapproves of me, I don't care. I'm doing what's good for me. And it is good for you. And I say that very, very slowly. I want it, good for you to follow your heart's desires. That's what I want to say. So, Aquarius. Aquarius, you get to define yourself in your own truth. You get to define who you are. You're not being burdened by what society wants from you. Not living a life according to what others want, according to what society wants from you. You are living a life for yourself that is true for you, in your truth. And Aquarius wants to do that. Aquarius wants to march the beat of its own drum and be fully itself, without inhibitions, without allowing society to get the better of it. And and the other thing is to not become cut off from your heart, not become too cold and attached, to connect with your heart's passion. When was the last time that you just played and had fun and did something that made you happy just for the sake of joy, just for the sake of fun, just for the sake of play? Not any particular purpose or routine or schedule, just for the sake of play. That you're being invited, because Leo season, Jupiter and Leo, invited to prioritize play. Jupiter will be conjunct the South Node, which is very, very different from your energy, but looking at the high word of Leo, which we can see the shadow of Aquarius, and we can evolve through the high word of Leo. So, connect with your heart's joy at this time. And whatever you want to achieve, show practicality in it. Show that you can be logical and rational in this. And doing what intuitively feels right. Which may be not quote-unquote logical to do, but it is logical for you to do. And what I mean by this is it's logical for your soul. It makes sense, and it feels practical for your soul on a spiritual level. So that's some food for thought for you on this month, and what you may want to think about. That's what I want to say for Aquarius. Now, Pisces. Now, you may want to retreat, because remember, the full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces is on the 27th, toward the end of the month. And you may want to retreat this month, even though it's about putting yourself out there, and with the Leo energy about shining, being yourself, being bold, being playful, being creative. And now, it is really about going inside. You may want to go inside. You may want to retreat into your shell. And you may want to do just that, Pisces. This month is your invitation to go inside and reflect on what your truth is, your connection to the divine, your connection to spirit, your connection to the universe. You're going to be invited to look at that. It's about, resting. Maybe you don't want to be bothered. Maybe you want to, rest and reflect. Maybe you want to spend some time alone and in reflection. Not wanting to work so hard and slave away so hard, logically. But wanting to be quiet. Wanting to go quietly. Wanting to surrender to the universe. Wanting to surrender. Wanting to be still. Pisces full moon invites stillness. Softness. Stop everything. Just take time out for yourself to just be peaceful. Listen to some nice music, meditate, do all that kind of stuff to really, really feel, rested, like you filling up your own cup. You're letting go of having to carry the burdens of the universe, of the weight of the world, and, handing this weight over to the universe. And instead, resting. And the final thing here is trusting the divine. Not holding too rigidly to things, not being overly attached. Pisces is about releasing attachment to form, releasing attachment to things being a certain way, and trusting in something higher and greater than yourself. Because you are not large and in charge. Okay? You may think that you are, but you are a child of God. You are a participant and a steward of the divine. You are a conduit, if that's even the right word, for the divine. You have the divine in you. You are created from God. You're created from source energy. We are all an extension of source energy. So, can you look at, where can I stop egoically trying to control? And naturally, you're very, very good at this, Pisces, because unless you have a lot of maybe Leo fixed energy in your chart, which fixed signs don't care for change much, and they want to hold on to things really, really tightly. Pisces is a flowing, adaptable, renewable sign, so yes, you're being invited to let go and adapt and flow and trust in the divine, use your intuition. Have at this month, Pisces. I will see you next month in September, and I will see you back. I want to talk about Mercury in Leo for all 12 signs. I want to talk about, Mercury in the sign of Leo, what it means for everybody, because I think that is so much about confidence and speaking from your heart, and I think that will be so interesting to delve into. So that will be the next horoscope. The next, set of transit videos for the collective and for the 12 signs that I'll be doing sometime later in August. If I want to do it, I'll see, what I can plan out as I go through day by day. But anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me see how long this was. 57 minutes. Oh, beautiful. Can I get this done before it hits an hour mark? I think I can. Okay. This has been almost an hour. Wow. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Thank you for listening to your reading. I hope that you got something out of it. Please like, subscribe, share this. Please be a part of this community. I'd love to have you as part of this community. If you are on a spiritual path, if you believe in authenticity, if you believe in self-love, self-acceptance, self-improvement, self-awareness, then this is the space for you. I want to warmly welcome you into this space, in this community. The more the merrier. If we can have more people come here and watch this and subscribe, that would be wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So please comment, like, share, do all these things. I'll see you next time on the Cosmic Sky Podcast for tomorrow's episode. Whatever that ends up being. Okay. Bye for now, everybody. Lots of love. Take care. Quick and, said it quickly and ended quickly. Bye for now.